Thank you to the troops.
Brought to you by ENSCO, ideas to reality.
Good morning, America. This morning, California in flames. Wildfires in the north and south on the path of destruction. Hills ablaze, people fleeing the fires, some dying in their cars. Thousands of homes incinerated.
This entire community is burned to the ground. Everything here is gone.
And now the race to get out of harm's way.
Heavenly Father, please help us.
Malibu's million-dollar mansions destroyed, celebrities among the victims.
Probably going to sleep in the car tonight.
Team coverage of the fires with conditions not expected to improve anytime soon.
President Trump in Paris, talking tough to France's president as the fallout from naming his new acting attorney general follows him overseas.
Ballot battle, the fury in Florida over the races for governor and Senate that look to be headed for a recount with painful memories of those hanging chads.
And she's an open book, Michelle Obama, saying she will never forgive President Trump for his support of the birther movement. President Trump's response ahead of our Robin Roberts exclusive sit-down with the former First Lady.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
And thanks for joining us on this busy Saturday morning. We begin with that breaking news, a state of emergency in California as deadly fires explode across the state. President Trump ordering federal assistance to help with the disaster.
Here's what we know right now. At least 9 people are confirmed dead in Northern California, where fast-moving flames wiped out an entire town. More than 6,000 homes have been destroyed there. The fire, now called the most destructive wildfire in the history of California. In Southern California, 2 major fires forcing the mandatory evacuations of more than 200,000 people, including the entire city of Malibu.
We have team coverage on the ground. Let's begin with ABC's senior meteorologist Rob Marciano in Malibu and the weather conditions fueling those flames. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Eva. The weather conditions are not good, as you very well know. Malibu, a beautiful spot, one of the most beautiful in the country, but now it is up in flames. We are at the Pepperdine University campus overlooking the Pacific Ocean. You can see behind me flames just to the west and north of this campus, which has not been evacuated. Over 3,000 students and faculty remain on this campus, so there is a furious effort to knock back the flames. They're actually using a fire hydrant on the center of this lawn to fuel up these choppers, and they're coming in one after the other to make night drops, something they don't usually do, but it tells you just how urgent this situation has become. The Woolsey fire now over 30,000 acres burned. For more on that, let's get to Matt Gutman, who's live for us this morning. Good morning, Matt.
And Rob, those firefighters are so stretched, they can't even get to fires like this. This is a multi-million-dollar home south of Calabasas, where we are right now. In fact, this entire neighborhood has been obliterated. All the mountains around here are scorched and not a firefighter in sight. That's how stretched they are across Southern California this morning. I want you to just take a quick look at this house. That's actually the main part of this home. There's a tennis court over there, and this is just the garage. This is all that's left to burn in this particular home here.
Overnight, those fires ousting hundreds of thousands of residents from their homes.
Report of 3 people trapped in a house.
People trapped in cars. There might be some injuries.
A line of fires in Southern California turning homes to cinders, racing across the landscape faster than firefighters can contain them. Residents like Rebecca Hackett desperate to outrun the flames, filming on Instagram as embers pelted her car.
Please, God, please let me out. I was really scared earlier. I was in shock. I definitely thought I was going to die. I thought I'm not going to make it out, but I just kept driving because I didn't know what else to do.
Earlier, officials ordering residents to evacuate in advance of the fires.
Mandatory evacuation of this area.
So much chaos that Pepperdine University apparently given mixed messages, leaving 3,500 students in the fire zone. All of them are okay this morning, but the aftermath here is apocalyptic. The Woolsey and Hill fires have grown to 40,000 acres in Ventura and Los Angeles counties.
I'm fairly certain it's gone. We stayed long enough to see the flames almost encircle the house.
Chaos. fire engines everywhere. The houses near me were burning. Embers were flowing all across my house.
Fires forcing evacuations of star-studded neighborhoods like Malibu and Calabasas, with many celebrities posting to their social media accounts with their status, like Caitlyn Jenner on Instagram Friday, posting to her 9 million followers after news that her Malibu home likely burned down in the fire.
Don't know if the house made it or not.
And President Trump criticizing containment of the fires, tweeting, "There is no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly forest fires in California, except that forest management is so poor."
And again, Rob, you know, you get a sense of what firefighters are going through, the heat coming off of just this garage burning right now, and what's left of this house is absolutely intense. Now, where you are, you're probably seeing a lot of police cruisers, a lot of firefighters, but they can't be everywhere at once. And one of the problems that we are encountering, and firefighters as well, is that they haven't been able to count the numbers of homes destroyed and damaged. There are just so many of them to go through. They'll probably get to those numbers later today, and you can tell how dangerous some of these situations are. Rob?
Well, absolutely, Matt. As you'd imagine, it is a frantic effort right now just to protect structures, as we're seeing here on the campus of Pepperdine University. This is a statewide event, though. It's been going on for days, and it started in Northern California with the largest, most destructive fire there, with at least 9 people dying in the Camp Fire. Live for us this morning in Paradise, California, is Will Carr. Good morning, Will.
Rob, there is a thick blanket of smoke across this area this morning as homes are still smoldering. A handful of those people who died in this fire were actually inside of their cars trying to race to safety, but it all just happened too fast. This is now the most destructive fire ever in California history, as this community has been reduced to rubble.
This morning, the death toll rising at the Camp Fire.
We now can confirm a total of 9 fatalities.
The blaze ripping through 90,000 acres of land, destroying more than 6,000 homes in just a few hours.
We're in a neighborhood surrounded by flames. You can see flames shooting out of the roof of this home, and then check out this tree right here. You have flames shooting hundreds of feet up into the air. This entire community is burned to the ground. Everything here is gone.
We're just hoping right now that our home's going to be okay. You know how sometimes there's a home that's okay. We're hoping that that home is ours.
We're about 95% sure our house is gone.
This weekend, large parts of the community look like a bomb exploded, leaving only rubble and heartbreak behind.
It's devastated. We're grateful that we got people out as quickly as we did yesterday, but we have a lot to do to rebuild.
27,000 residents still under an evacuation order after many raced to safety, braving roads surrounded by hellish flames.
It was pure chaos when the fire swept through this area. You can see this car crash. Some drivers simply jumped out and ran for it. We have seen miles upon miles of charred cars.
Nearly 25,000 without power in Butte County up north, and close to 20,000 more powerless in Southern California. Parts of Paradise now look more like a wasteland. Cars incinerated, homes destroyed, and animals helplessly roaming the streets, including this dog burned and confused, a highway patrolman stopping to help.
Unbelievably, that highway patrolman lost his home in this fire, but he's still out there making a difference. As for the cause of this fire, the local utility company said they had a problem with a power line right before the fire broke out, but the official cause is still under investigation. Rob.
All right, Will, just a heartbreaking scene up there in Paradise, California, and I can tell you this, the weather is not much more encouraging with winds of 50, 60 miles an hour. You just can't fight those flames, and we'll get a bit of a lull today, but the offshore flow is going to continue. Let's have a look at these Santa Anas, and the event is that we'll see basically a resurgence after today. Today, the winds, hopefully, and the flames will lie down a little bit. We've got red flag warnings from Southern California through Northern California. And then tomorrow, after a bit of a lull today, we'll ramp up again tomorrow and into Monday. So, Eva, it looks like no rain, by the way, for at least a week. So weather's not going to help at all. Eva?
And Rob, the president blaming the Forestry Service. Seems like these fires are getting worse and worse every year. Is this climate change? What's the deal with all this?
Well, look, this summer we saw excessive heat waves and drought in some cases, and you can link a little bit of that to climate change, but this is a Santa Ana season, so this is not unusual to get winds blowing flames like this, and this is the dry season as well. So unfortunately, I don't want to say they're used to this. This is, in some parts, the worst in California history, but they are getting worse, Eva, and it's discouraging for sure.
Absolutely. Rob, thank you. And those first responders, to hear that some of them lose their homes as well, and they continue to go out and help people out. It's
incredible.
Amazing. Incredible. Really is. We do want to shift gears this morning, turning now to President Trump, who is celebrating the 100th anniversary to the end of World War I this weekend in France.
The president firing off on several domestic issues before leaving, and hours later lashing out at French President Emmanuel Macron as he arrived in Paris. That's where ABC's senior national correspondent Terry Moran is this morning. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, guys. On a rainy day in Paris, a rainy and windy day, President Trump here for that solemn occasion, joining leaders from across Europe and the world in commemorating the end of World War I. But his battles on the home front are never very far away. This morning, a French fanfare greeting President Trump as he arrived at the Grand Élysée Palace in Paris to meet with French President Emmanuel Macron. Their world-famous bromance perhaps a bit chillier now after Trump blasted Macron in a tweet about military spending as soon as he landed in France. But they were all smiles this morning. The president is here with other world leaders for solemn commemorations of the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. But the fallout from his naming of his staunch loyalist, Matt Whitaker, to be new acting attorney general has followed him here. Yesterday, before he left Washington, Trump told reporters he doesn't even know the man.
Mr. President, what do you say to all the criticism of Matt Whitaker and the calls for him to recuse himself, given what he said about the Russian?
Well, Matt Whitaker, I don't know Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker worked for Jeff Sessions, and he was always extremely highly thought of, and he still is. But I didn't know Matt Whitaker.
But listen to what the president said just last month.
Well, I never talk about that, but I can tell you Matt Whitaker's a great guy. I mean, I know Matt Whitaker.
But again today, the opposite.
I didn't speak to Matt Whitaker about it. I don't know Matt Whitaker.
Whitaker has visited the Oval Office several times. And he is now under fire on multiple fronts, including for his strong criticism of the Mueller probe, which he now oversees.
The truth is, there was no collusion with the Russians in the Trump campaign.
Now, when Jeff Sessions was Attorney General and he recused himself from the Mueller probe, it's because he was a potential witness. He was personally involved in some of the events. Whether Matt Whitaker's expression of a personal viewpoint on the Mueller probe would require recusal is an open question. But some Democrats, for sure, they're calling for it, guys.
And also raising questions about whether his appointment was constitutional in the first place. Terry, thank you very much. Terry Moran reporting in from Paris this morning. Meanwhile, back here at home, it is deja vu all over again in Florida, where the president and his team are bracing for recounts in key Senate and gubernatorial races in the Sunshine State.
With a recount all but certain, the issue of uncounted ballots heading to court. ABC's Victor Oquendo is in Lauderhill with the latest. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Eva and Dan. There are still votes to be counted here at Broward County Election Headquarters, but they won't say how many. The clock is ticking. All counties have by noon today to submit their vote totals. In the Senate race, both candidates have filed lawsuits. Senator Bill Nelson is asking for all votes cast by mail or with signature mismatches to be counted as valid votes. This battle is far from over. Fury in Florida. Accusations of voter fraud, voter suppression, and abuse of power.
We're not going to let these liberal activists from all over the country come down here and say, oh, we're going to steal this election.
Republican Governor Rick Scott ran for Senate this year and thought he'd won. Not so fast. Officials in the Democratic strongholds of Palm Beach and Broward counties still counting votes. And this morning, fewer than 15,000 separate Scott from Democratic Senator Bill Nelson. That number apparently shrinking, and a recount seems imminent.
We believe when every legal ballot is counted, we'll win this election.
Governor Scott suing state election officials, a federal judge ruling those officials must disclose how many ballots are outstanding and yet to be counted.
In Broward, after election night, they came up with 78,000 more votes. We still don't have the information on it.
Here, painful memories of 2000, those hanging chads.
What's going on in Florida is a disgrace. If you look at Broward County, They have had a horrible history, and all of a sudden, they're finding votes out of nowhere.
Free and fair elections! Free and fair elections!
Protesters swarming the Broward County election headquarters Friday.
It appears to be that people are just searching for votes until they get the results that they want. That can't be. That's not a democracy.
They got votes that's never been counted. That's the problem.
And simply put, that's all you guys want.
That's all. Just count the votes. That's all we need. I'll go home, I'll lay down and sleep better.
It's not just the Senate race in question where the numbers stand now. The governor's race, even the Agriculture Commission race, all likely headed for recounts in Florida. If the margin of victory is less than half the percentage point, it triggers an automatic recount. Dan?
It's amazing. Victor, thank you very much. Let's bring in somebody for whom this whole story brings back incredibly fond memories. ABC News chief political analyst Matthew Dowd, who worked for George W. Bush in the year 2000. You have a mug, a commemorative mug.
Victory the day after, which we then discovered was way premature because it took 31 more days of recounts in Florida.
And here we are again.
PTSD, thank you.
So, you know, we've got a lot of people on the right saying that there's something fishy going on here. You keep finding these new ballots. What's going on? Do you smell something fishy?
There's been no evidence that there's been a problem in here, and I think there's a difference between fraud and incompetence. There's definitely incompetence on election night all over the country. But let me give you a stat. In 2016, after Election Day was over, the day after Election Day, there were still 10 million ballots to be counted around the country. My estimate as of today around the country, there are 4 or 5 million ballots to be counted. California, Arizona, where there's close races going on. So this is not unusual that ballots are counted, but Florida is so, as we've referenced, so specific that it brings back everybody's memories of what they had. They just count the ballots, see where it goes. I think that's ultimately what's going to happen.
All right, let's talk about the president in France this morning. He's not feeling the love for the French president, Emmanuel Macron, who gave a speech saying that here we are commemorating the end of World War I. We got into this conflict in the first place, according to Macron, because of nationalism. That's what led to World War I, he says. Do you think that comment is provoking some reflection for President Trump, who describes himself as a nationalist?
Well, I would hope so. I mean, nearly 20 million people died in that war, and I would hope he would reflect on that. There's a famous poem that in Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, and you'd think he'd take time to reflect on that. World War I, most people think World War I was caused by not only rampant nationalism around the world, xenophobia, fear of foreigners, and military buildups, all of which we seem to be involved in today. And so I hope the president, as he watches it and sees that, it causes him to reflect on it.
One more question on the president. We saw in Terry's piece that before the president left for France, he was asked about his acting attorney general, Matthew Whitaker, and he said, "I don't know him," even though there's some evidence that he does know him. Does this distancing kind of spell perhaps the end for Mr. Whitaker?
Well, we've seen a lot of evidence that the president is not necessarily rooted in loyalty to people that work for him. I think that Matthew Whitaker has a number of problems. First was this a constitutional appointment of him in the first place, because he never got advice and consent by the Senate? And two, there's a ton of things, evidence that can he be objective, and can he run the Mueller probe, and can he oversee that after everything he said about it, negatively about it? So I think it's a real question whether or not he's going to survive the next 10 days or 2 weeks.
Matthew Dowd, thank you very much.
Great
Don't break that mug. It's historic.
No, I don't know. I hope we're not here 30 days from now having the same conversation.
I think a lot of people share that sentiment. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
When I was in Florida, I heard the word recount, and you're the first person I thought about, Matt.
I don't know if that is a good thing.
Somebody give him a hug. All right, it's great to see you in person. We do want to shift gears, go back out to Rob Marciano, who's in Malibu, California. And Rob, obviously covering the destructive wildfires there. But Rob, other parts of the country dealing with a very different story.
Yeah, that's right, with some cold air moving into the eastern half of the country. And that actually is related and exacerbates, at times, the Santa Anas that are blowing here. So the snow that we're seeing just outside of Erie, Pennsylvania, look at this video of that. Lake effect season now in tow, with cold air coming in off the Great Lakes, and the radar showing that. So we'll see more of that today and really tomorrow as well. Cold air driving down into much of the eastern half of the country. This morning, an Arctic blast with wind chills that are into the teens and single numbers. Look at Chicago, my goodness. And this is all kind of pouring farther to the east and south. And again, that kind of gets the Santa Ana winds going a little west a little bit more at times, so not a good situation for us out here in California. That's check on the national headlines weather-wise. Time now for a look at your local forecast.
Hello and good morning.